Hello and welcome, my Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs. Welcome to your work, career, vocation read for June, what's left of it, and July 2021. I am your reader, Angelo Lyons, the Archangel of Lyons, but your dad just calls me Mal. Sorry, I've been waiting to do that. It's Gay Pride Month. I'm gay. I've been in my house. I've been overdosing on Drag Race, Trixie and Katya in predominantly, I should say. And I'm sorry, Read You, Wrote You is the best thing ever. And if you have not seen it, boy, are you missing out. Anyway, let's get down to business. Yeah, Angelo Lyons, the Archangel of Lyons, president of Drawing the Circle Productions, professional witch, professional intuitive, all that jazz. My book, Words of Grace, is actually doing well, finally, on Kindle. Links in the description box. I could throw author in there. I want to do more books, but I have EPUBs. eBooks. I'm 52. I know, I don't look it. Thank you. And I am feeling my oats. Why? Because today I am driving into Brooklyn. I'm in Long Island, New York. I'm driving into Brooklyn to pick up my friend, Mark Wendland, twice Tony-nominated award-winning set designer. Sorry, twice nominated. He didn't win, but, you know, that's the Tonys for you. He's coming to house sit for me and cat sit for me for a few days because I'm driving up to Saratoga tomorrow to see my parents get a shot in the arm. J&J. I'm a top. If I have to get penetrated, let's only do it once, thanks. And gonna be bringing work up there. Maybe not doing the produced videos like these that I do, but I'll be doing some live stream. And I think I want to do a True Love Collective read, which I haven't done, I think, since last year. So I want to see how the True Love collectives are. But enough of that. Let's talk about work, career, vocation. This is a 3-level of power reading. There is a link in the description box of video from Myss. This is her deck, one of many. She really does healing systems, though. She doesn't really do oracles. This is the archetype cards from Myss. So it's a set of archetypal lenses, the 3 levels of power, that we're going to be looking at as work, career, vocation, which correlates to the root, sacrum, solar plexus chakras, heart, throat, third eye, crown, and the 8th chakra, the star center, whatever you want to call it. 3 levels of power, like eau de toilette, cologne, perfume, right? There's a way, which one lasts longer? Perfume. Which one is gone in an hour? Eau de toilette. So get the vibe, and chances are you've already checked your other signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, whatever. So you've already heard this at least maybe once or twice. So let's just get down in it, because also the landscapers are in the area. I can hear leaf blowers and hedge trimmers and whatnot, so I want to see if I can get this done clearly, cleanly, for the well-being of all, and before everything gets really noisy and distractive. Cool? I am a Pisces moon if you are new to my channel, and I'm having a lot of fun, and I'm wearing my Confident Kitty Cat t-shirt for you today, Leo rising that I am, Virgo that I am. So enough chit-chat. Let's do this. I'll explain as they want me to explain. I already did my prayers and my meditations, Course in Miracles, and spoke to the gods and the archangels and all that. So let's just dive in. Shall we? Please take a night. Oh, the only thing I can ask from anybody watching any of my readings, this is important, aside from the general stuff that you hear on every single YouTube reader, both feet on the floor. If you can, focus on your breath, if you will. I will do the same to keep me grounded, right, and to get you the clarity, guidance, and grace that I can about your work, career, and vocation, because bringing these 3 into alignment is really fulfilling. And really, if you want to talk about manifestation, it's about aligning all 8 chakras, seriously, but about your life purpose in this case and how you serve that life purpose. Please take a nice deep breath. Yeah, let's get 3 Myss archetype decks on the table here as I call upon my collective pantheons of angels, archangels, goddesses, gods, ascended masters of life purpose through work, career, vocation, and the higher selves of all involved, not just the Pisces, all involved, for this Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Sun, watching this video, receiving this reading. Yeah, what's going on in their work? Lower 3 chakras, the literal level of power, survival intuition, right? Your physical power, what's going on in their career, personal level of power, the world behind the eyes, the emotional power, the power of choice, the mental power, and their spiritual power, creative intuition, what they thirst for emotionally and hunger for mentally, and are just chomping at the bit to experience something in their career or create something. And in their 8th chakra, their vocation, their spiritual calling, their visionary intuition, and the symbolic level of power. Okay. Once I start coughing into reading, because really I've coughed maybe once this morning and I've been up since 5 a.m. Oh, I don't even know what time it is right now. I'm getting ready to travel. So, throat chakra, we're going to have to take a look at that because it does feel like something wants to come up and be said, or at least expressed. Well, and that would make sense. Okay, you've already seen these. They're in the title. I always put these 3 cards in the title, so if they zap you, you know it's for you to check out. You've got the Avenger in your work, which is the action family archetype, and you've got the visionary in your career, and that is creative, a creative family archetype. So it's funny, you got action in the physical world, the yang energy, if you will, and the yin, you've got the visionary, creative intuition. And in your vocation, the father archetype, now that could very much be God the Father, or the Father God, or, you know, divine masculine, but let me read these because that's masculine energy. So masculine family, well, obviously masculine energy, but there are 9 different families of archetypes, right? Carolyn Myss grouped them together. It's probably based on Jung, forever Jung. Let's get up in this, or down in this. The shadow and the light is what's written on the card. All archetypes are neutral. No matter how wonderful the Avenger sounds, the shadow is pretty damn toxic, resorting to violence in the name of a cause, right? Uncalled for, crossing people's boundaries, doing harm and causing hurt. The light attribute, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. And this is very much, now if you're not familiar with the terminology, you might want to look into this, although, you know, you do you, but if you know what I'm talking about, this is second wave of ascension, divine masculine, the social justicers, the divine feminines, the first wavers, hello. We've been clearing the energy fields for lifetimes, right? Doing the emotional healing work that the divine masculines won't do. Push it down, push it down, push it down. It comes up through us, particularly if you're an empath, you know what I'm talking about. So whether this is you, or just a general archetypal energy going on in your work, which would make sense, right? It's like everything's boiling to the surface, all of the hidden injustices, right? The obvious ones are being dealt with, give or take, but the ones that have perhaps been hidden are rising to the surface. So, desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself, that is justice. In the shadow, it's revenge, right? There's justice or revenge. That's it, right? And yeah, I guess the sliding scale in between. So in terms of you taking your action, whether you are dealing with this, like if you're like, I have no energy to go out and protest, I can click a thing, right? I understand. More of a divine feminine myself, I get that. That's why I do this work to help people heal, right? That's my way of trying to balance the scales for people. There's something you want to get off your chest here. There's absolutely something you want to get. Here it was, that cough, and a wet cough, so it's emotional. So, you know, you might have feelings of vengeance, of wanting to resort to violence, but alchemize it, because this is an action family archetype in your physical world, the literal world, root, sacrum, solar plexus. And if your solar plexus is flaring, your honor code is being called into question just within yourself, right? Before you act, really pay attention to that, because you might be crossing a boundary, your own and or somebody else's, rather than endure with integrity. The 2 Serapho, there you go, of in the solar plexus in the Kabbalistic Tree of Life, Anatomy of the Spirit, as well as in my book, Words of Grace, the solar plexus chapter. You've got the visionary here. As we said, I have the visionary card. So I'm not really even kind of dealing with this. I'm not feeling this. This is not my read for frickin' change. I mean, holographic vision's hard. Well, here we go, right? The shadow. Selling insights to the highest bidder. compromising your vision to make it more acceptable. I was so tempted to do that with this YouTube work, and this I can relate to, though, this piece. I don't know about that Avenger thing, but we'll see. Really, seriously, like, I could dumb it down. I could... Do you know how much time I would save if I took out the music and the credits and the editing? But I can't do that. Like, I won't do that. I don't care that my numbers are low on YouTube. I've been doing this for a while. Only readings for the past 2 years or so. But before, I'm a spiritual teacher and a healer, counselor, you know? I was a minister. So it's like, I will not compromise this for anything, and that's what the light is. Capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, which sucks. It sucks, if you know what I mean. Like, you see it before everybody else, and like, you're out of your mind, you stupid Pisces. Why don't you go swim away? And you're like, right, and then they discover it and they think it's their idea. That's fun. But here's the one: willingness to proclaim a vision without regard for personal gain. I could say, I don't know if I'm at 100% lead to gold, in lead to gold 100% gold, but I'm pretty much there as a visionary. I'm going to have to keep my eye on that Avenger in my work, balancing the scales. All right, we'll see. But this is an interesting one. The Father archetype in the 8th chakra, visionary intuition. Oh, get clear. This one is about creative intuition, heart, throat, third eye, crown. Though it is the visionary, but this is in your visionary intuition. So I really see, obviously, all the chakras are not just connected; they're one spectrum. We just perceive them as separate. One light manifesting as many. But the Father archetype here, this could very much be about divine masculine energy, and I do mean divine. The shadow attribute, though, dictatorial control, abuse of authority. Now, have we been dealing that on the planet ever? Yeah, like, how about for the past over many thousand years, the rise of patriarchy suppressing matriarchy, right? The father suppressing the mother, the yang suppressing the yin. Well, maybe that's what this is. Le script has flipped. Yeah, we're bringing it into balance, divine feminine, so keep feeling it to heal it. That's why they sent us in with Pisces placements. But the light attribute, and this is wonderful, talent for creating and supporting life, positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And I feel like if you can nail this and take it out of bodily gender, right? Because you see, I have the mother archetype dominant in me, and I'm still a guy. Granted, I'm gay. Thank God. Do you know what trouble I would get in if I was heterosexual in this career? Oh, no. Husbands and shotguns, no. But the beauty that is here, positive guiding light within a tribal unit, but that is mystical power, 8th chakra. It can also be that, and this may be just for my pagans, that there is a particular God archetype that is father. For me, it's Zeus. He's really the only father in my pantheon, and I love him. He's right over my head. Here he is, right there. I'm not an idolater. I just like statuary. But there is something, and it is supportive. This might even be you getting the mystical support that you really need to back you up and to maybe make you a leader in some way. And I would say a visionary leader who is in some way balancing the scales of justice, at least energetically, archetypally. That's like the 8th chakra of your work, career, your vocation. Daughters of the Moon. Let's look at the interior world on this. Your heart, throat, third eye, crown in each. The interior world. The interior world, your feminine energy. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. I love this prayer. I call upon my goddesses of water and the sign of Pisces. Please, Artemis, Diana, Circe, speak to me. My Amazon, my Empress, and my witch, please work through me, speak through me. What is going on for the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs in their work, career, vocation, in their heart, third eye, crown? We'll do them face down. Always do them face down if you can. We've got the Avenger in their work. We got the Visionary in their career, and we've got the Father in their vocation. Deck drop. Okay. Well, we got some court cards here, but look, I'm going to tell you something. And Steve's Love Tarot just put something out on his Twitter feed yesterday. I had to reply. It gets very confusing when people say, oh, it's this sign, it's this, and they name the elemental signs connected to it. It's about the dynamic. It's about the energy. Oh, we'll get there. You've got Virgo and Libra on the table. It doesn't mean that you're a Virgo on the inside or a Libra in your crown, right? We'll get there. But it's talking about, if you read that house, like 6th house and 7th house, they actually do follow each other in the zodiac, then you get a different dynamic. And if it is actually a person, which would be in the next 3 cards, the Mythic Tarot, the externals here, then, you know, it doesn't matter what sign they are. And plus, not everybody knows all their planets like we do, right? So let's look at this. Something's coming because you got the Avenger with the 5 of Pentacles, Earthquake. Earthquake. Now, this is an internal shakeup. So it can be that either some like past thing in your work like shakes you, you get triggered. How long does an earthquake last? Really, a 10-second earthquake at a high Richter scale is totally disastrous, right? So it depends on the intent of it. I mean, this is, to me, my minor arcana version of the Tower, but it's internal, and it might absolutely be about money. We are talking about work here, and the survival intuition is usually how you pay your bills. It's not how I pay my bills. I pay because I'm a president. What, am I going to pay myself? I know. I make my money through my career as a teacher and a healer and a reader and a writer and blah, 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 blah. Spiritual counselor is really my best. So something's shaking you up here that might very well all of a sudden put you in that Avenger, Revenger vibe. Let's see what next 3 cards that go down. The Visionary here, you got the Virgo card. It doesn't mean, oh my God, I'm a Virgo on the inside. Maybe you are, maybe you ain't. But this is definitely talking about 6th house dynamic, right? Health, occupation, healing, particularly self-healing. And I am a Virgo. I was born on a full moon, Virgo Sun, Pisces Moon, on a Labor Day weekend, because I do like a symbolic entrance if I can get one, and I did. This is definitely about you taking care of you, right? The Virgo, cross your legs, Virgo, the only sign that crosses its legs. Like, the vibe that I'm getting on this actually feels really good, because this is about occupation and health. Occupation doesn't necessarily mean just your work or your career. It's what you are occupied with. And being a Virgo, I can tell you there is a thing of sifting, sorting, and analyzing, but viscerally, right? Like in the body, feeling something out. So if something feels off, it's off. If an opportunity presents itself and it's meh, don't, right? Pay attention to your body, particularly heart, throat, third eye, crown, right? Because this Visionary, you might absolutely, thank you, Diana. A vision is coming in from the Father archetype, whether it's from God the Father or not. You're gonna have to deal with that on your own. I got enough on my plate. Definitely a download is coming, and it's gonna be like, oh, I have to protect this. I have to protect this. I have to heal. I have to hold this here in heart, throat, third eye, and crown, because it might be that's what's shaking everything up. If it's not an external event in your work hitting you in the physical world, right, that would trigger a 5 of Pentacles earthquake, and maybe that's loss of money. I don't know that it is. That wouldn't, you know what I mean? That might be your experience of it. But it might also be completely changing how you see and feel and think about your work in the world. And that's happened to me a number of times. But maybe not as the result of an external. We will see that. See, but here's the thing that connects with the Avenger. You've got the Father archetype with the Libra card. Now look, you don't know if you're Libra or not, doesn't matter, but it's saying, really, this is about the balancing of the scales. 7th house dynamic, partnerships, marriages, right? Yes, legal issues, bringing things into balance. But let us not forget the shadow self, your relationship to your shadow. So I'm just going to say, if you were raised by a dictatorial, controlling, abusive authority father, my father was born on Flag Day. Go look and see who else was born on Flag Day that would be recognizable to you. I win. I love that. I win. I win the Toxic Dad contest. God rest his soul. We're much better terms now that he's not in a body. Then this really is something that you're going to have to bring into balance. Deal with your shadow side, right? I've dealt with a lot of that stuff because when I get dictatorial and start abusing my authority, usually there's a woman nearby to help me pull my crown chakra out my root chakra. But also I get those flashbacks. I'm like, oh, this isn't me. This is my conditioning. This was written into the script before I ever incarnated into it. Like a ride at Disneyland. Mr. Toad's Wild Ride. All right. So, you know, whatever this is that's shaking you up, there is a balancing here. And really look if you can get up into that crown chakra about being a leader, right? Because that's in the light you're looking at here. Positive guiding light within a tribal unit. And tribal can be a group of friends. But in your vocation, that could really be something that is talking about being a sort of supportive unit to, like, doing readings, right? It's like speaking for the collective, being supportive in that way, and a talent for creating and supporting life, like creating life, like your creative life. I'm just feeling like with this Virgo card, keep your legs crossed, your mouth shut, occupy yourself with this while whatever is going on here in the physical shakes itself out. And let's look at that right now. Mythic Tarot, lower 3 chakra dynamic. What's the, you know, the physical aspect of this, either from the outside looking in at you, like how you appear in this, or through your eyes looking out, giving you some sort of, you know, visual landmark or symbolic landmark to kind of know what this is about. Please take a nice deep breath. One more for the other fish. Yeah, because that earthquake is the only thing on the table here. Well, the earthquake with the Avenger, Revenger, yeah, that's giving me pause. You know, please, my gods of water. And the sign of Pisces, Poseidon in particular, please, 3 cards in clarity. Please clarify what's going on. Root, sacrum, solar plexus in the work, career, and vocation for the Piscean collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading. They've got the Avenger archetype with the 5 of Pentacles on the inner. That's the outer. They've got the Visionary with the Virgo on the inner. There's the outer. And they've got the Father with Libra on the inner. There is the outer. Okay, here we go. Huh. Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So let's just do this. You've got the Avenger, right? As I said, with this earthquakey thing going on, and it's brought about by a message. Page of Swords. Page of Swords. Now, if that's you from the outside looking in, you from the inside looking out, yeah, you might see something. But I'm not necessarily getting that it's a verbal conversation. Like, it's something that you see. And it's something that you think about, and it is a message that comes into you, but I feel like you're the one who sees it, right? It's not, you might even be looking for it, and it shocks you. I mean, the only reason why I would, okay, like for example, and this has happened to so many people, all of a sudden your industry is completely changing and they're downsizing. It's not personal, but it could absolutely bring you into that place of revenge unless you can get, oh, this is clearing itself out, right? Everything's balancing out for this new vision to come in and manifest. And yes, it's okay to be shook. It's okay to be upset. I mean, who thinks of the 5 of Pentacles as a positive card? But all tarot cards are neutral. It depends on how you want to play it, and that's what these readings are for. If you only go with the 5 senses of the physical world, How often are they accurate long term, right? The assumptions that we make, the perceptions that we have that are not real. The sun does not rise in the east and set in the west, my darlings. It only looks that way because the planet turns. Ooh, right? So this does make sense. And the visionary, right? Got the visionary in your career with that Virgo card, while outside everything transforms. The death card. Now someone else got this in this position. Let's see if I can see where that was. Was that there? No, they have the sun. I mean, I've got it all written down here, but with my chicken scratch go fig. Yeah, there is a transformation going on in your career in the physical part of it right now. It might feel like something's dead, right? That could be triggery. But if you can really kind of keep your creative, all right, giving me the word here, keep your creativity, your creative intuition, heart, third eye crown, virgin, which means untouched by the world, unowned, right? Do not sell out on this, at least not until you feel balanced, that it's fair, and that it's just. I mean, keep in mind, there were entire industries that were put on pause, and then others that were completely taken down to ashes and rising from. I mean, look at Zoom. I mean, Zoom before last year and now. I mean, whew, right? Amazon, not that it was hurting for cash, but you see what I'm saying? So we've all been hit in our work career. Vocation, even if your career, and I hate using this word, but it is an archetype, housewife, right? All of a sudden, that took on the most important role in the tribal unit. Speaking of tribal unit, 8th chakra, you've got the father archetype, right? Dictatorial control or supportive unit in a family. And here again is this Libra card. And this can be about the relationship between your ego and your soul. And there you are, the personality in the middle, right? Because the soul is going to say, hey, all of this is happening for a purpose, not a reason, right? And the ego is going to be like, just kill, right? And finding that balance. But on the 3 of Cups here, you are not alone in this. You are not alone in this, and you do have collaborators, and you do have friends. I don't know about family, maybe family members as well, that are really see you. If they don't see your vision, they're definitely willing to support what it is you're doing due to emotional bond, right? To me, the 3 of Cups, as much as people want to say third parties and partying and all of that, to me, it's about an emotional bond that has gone from a 2 of Cups into a 3, something more stable, right? A stronger emotional bond. And this could very much be your heart opening up. Let me rephrase that. If you can really get this thing, it's like, okay, I'm being supported, but I need to be supportive of myself. And what? In a tribal unit. This is an emotionally bonded tribal unit. But with the element of emotion here, there is love here as well. And by the way, this scene is the wedding of Eros and Psyche. Go read the myth. I mean, a little tricky to apply to a work, career, vocation thing. But she hasn't even seen his face when she marries him. And why is about wanting to be loved for who you are, not how you appear, which I think is very much speaking to this visionary archetype about the vision that you come in. Maybe it's just not time yet. Or, I mean, the other way that we can spin this, and maybe this is for some of you, comment if you're feeling it, that it is time. The message comes in and you get shook and you're like, all right, I get to finally balance the scales. I get to finally... And I think it's this part, if that is the case, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself. Righteousness means right use. Right use is the opposite of abuse. But look at what the word righteous is turned into, right? How can it have a shadow side? Because when people ain't doing righteous, but they're saying they are, right? Righteously hang the witch, burn her at the stake, don't even try. I've got lawyers in my family. I get pro bono legal help. Thank you very much. Shall we? That deserves a legal thwarp. Thwarp. Meow thwarp. Let's get your last 3 cards on the table. Yeah, this time around, if you've noticed, we have added the Matt Kahn Healing Mantra deck because, yeah, you're going to want them. for this. I am feeling we're not using the bookie book for these because I know enough of these mantras I can work them into a work, career, vocation read. Please take a nice deep breath. All right, my ascended masters of work, career, vocation. Tell me later if this is about me, because I don't really care right now. I got too much on my plate. Maybe I'll watch the video when I'm up in Saratoga. Please, what do you got for the Piscean collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs watching this video, receiving this reading in their work, career, vocation, the perfect healing mantras for their work? They have the Avenger with 5 of Pentacles, Earthquake on the inner, and Page of Swords on the outer. What's their perfect healing mantra for that? Not gonna look. In their career, they've got the Visionary, which totally makes sense. The Visionary, creative family archetype. Virgo on the inner, maybe really letting this gestate, really allowing their vulnerability to be protected while things transform on the outer in their career with that Death card. So the perfect healing mantra for that. And in their vocation, their spiritual calling, 8th chakra dynamic, they got the Father archetype, which really speaks of their masculine energy and their ability to bring things into physical form, right? Supporting talent for creating and supporting life. And that can be artistic life, that can be creative life, maybe even in a tribal unit, right? With Libra on the inner, that 7th house dynamic, really need to look at their shadow side a little bit. Maybe some shadow work is due. We are going into the full moon to new moon next. I think that's on the 24th full moon in Gemini. And with that 3 of Cups there, it does feel like there is a happy, emotionally bonded tribe here. Let's see what your mantras are. Yeah. Honoring adversity, right? So you got the Avenger, right, with 5 of Pentacles on the inner, Page of Swords on the outer, honoring adversity. A fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. I'm wondering if your burning is complete. Think about it. And I hate this image, but it does make sense, right? You're in a forest fire, right? But, you know, the area you're in is fine, but you can't, there's nowhere to go. We got to wait until the shit finishes burning down, or then a path will be revealed, right? So that might be it. That might very well be here, but honor your adversity. Adversity brings out the best in us. But it's in the physical world, so that could be triggery as hell, too. It does feel like it might be a flash fire, though, and something having to do with justice. I wonder if there is an injustice that has been done that is being righted, and if so, be honest about how you feel, but you know, don't burn down the village or the people involved. In your career, Visionary with Virgo on the inner, Hades on the outer, the Death card. What better than transforming tragedy? Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. With that honoring adversity, your work in your career, maybe it was decimated, but more room has been made for gifts to be received. And honestly, the gifts right now are of creativity, so hang in there. Really better for a Pisces, right? I feel like somebody might have been really invested in something, and if not financially invested, a lot of work went into it with that 5 of Pentacles. I mean, that absolutely 5 of Pentacles with that Avenger could be that there was a financial injustice or disruption, imbalance, as a result of what we've all been through in your physical work, maybe how you've earned your money. So to honor that adversity, but also get that a path is being revealed, and this is a physical thing. Do the mantra, because this one's really pretty much saying the same thing. Loss is my reminder. So there has been loss in your career, but like maybe you've had to abort some creative ideas, like you had to spit them out instead of swallow them and bring them down into form. But more room has been made. It's certainly been, my readings changed drastically once the thing that happened. It's still going on. So then with the Father archetype, with the Mother of Blades Libra, again, all about fairness, all about one-on-one relationships, right? The balance, all of that. With the 3 of Cups, Unraveling Codependency, one of my favorite cards in this deck. I don't even need to read it because I know it by heart. Only I have to feel good about my choices. Now again, burning down the village, although it might feel good to do it, that's not a heart-centered thing, right? That's not an 8th chakra way to go. So it might be that you are going to lead a creative thing, right? Creating life, discovering a talent for creating and supporting life, a positive guiding light within a tribal unit. Well, it feels like this is what's rising from the ashes, but it is in play. That's why I do these 2 months at a time, right? July and June and July, I should say. And I'll do a July and August, particularly because I want to see where this goes for my Pisceans. But this does make sense, you know, and I can't take my eye off the divine masculine aspect of this. I mean the yang part, right? The external world. Yeah, maybe you've been through hell, and maybe it has been unfair and unjust. But whoever said life on planet Earth was fair? The ego wants it to be fair in its side, right? Thumb on its scale. But the soul says that everything is for the development of who we are and what we came here to do. And the adversity we go through and the tragedies that we go through, if it brings us to a place of no longer being in a codependent pattern, sacrificing our dreams because it would upset somebody else, that's no good. That's a killer for a creative thing. It's like, well, but if you do this, where will I fit in? So you don't do it? Or something like that. That's for somebody, right? People might be afraid that they're going to lose you there. Like I said, there are some strong emotional bonds here. But I feel like if you can get out of that dictatorial place, you'll be able to say, hey, look, I have to do this. Yes, everything. The toxicity of the well-meaning. That's why you got to keep this quiet. Work this, all 3 of these mantras. I'll get there in a minute. They're giving me so much at once. It's like a school of fish just hit my head. The toxicity of the well-meaning. People who love you, who don't want to see you take risks because they're afraid of you, afraid for you, and maybe even of you, right? For you to take the leap that they won't take. So, of course, that Virgo thing. Soft of eye and light of touch. Speak ye little, listen much. Unless you've got planets in Gemini, then good luck. So if you were to put these together, let me put them in the order they came down. Right, so you've got honoring adversity, transforming tragedy, and unraveling codependency. A fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. Loss is my reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received. And only I have to feel good about my choices. Only I have to feel good about my choices. Let's put it together in a blessing. Please take a nice deep breath. Wow, I mean, I feel like if you were a follower before, you're going to be a leader, a boss. I do, and that's the thing maybe you can't get from that 8th chakra place just yet. Please take another nice deep breath. Seriously, my pantheons of the divine, may the Piscean collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs be blessed with all that they need in their work, career, and vocation for June and July 2021. That they may tune to the Avenger archetype with that desire to balance the scales of justice, righteousness on behalf of society or oneself, and that can all be one thing, while things really shake out inside of them, heart, third eye, crown, and viscerally. So particularly if they are empathic or just a Pisces in general, really not just feeling the emotion emotionally, but feeling it viscerally. Very, very shook as a result of some message that comes in. But keep in mind, it is an immature message. It is a page. It is not a knight. It is not a queen. It is not a king. It is a page. It's like a seed thought, right? So that they can really understand that a fire reveals a path of renewed direction once the burning is complete. And this may it be for them that this is the sign that the burning is complete and a path is being revealed. Please. So that in their career, they can embrace the capacity to envision what is not yet conceivable to others, and with that willingness to proclaim their vision regardless of personal gain in the right timing. With that Virgo card, right? That analysis certainly, but also that vulnerability that's being kept behind the castle wall, behind the eyes while things transform in the outside world. Hopefully rising from ashes rather than going to, although with this honoring adversity, it does feel like they're probably rising from within themselves. Understanding that loss is their reminder that more room has been made for greater gifts to be received, so that they can really tune to that 8th chakra guidance and grace as the father archetype, with their talent for creating and supporting life and being a positive guiding light within a tribal unit, trying to keep it fair, trying to keep it balanced, trying to keep the heart and the head congruent with what comes out of their mouth, with their collaborators, with their family, with the well-meaning people in their life who may be afraid of them, so that they can unravel codependency. Really learning the spiritual importance that only they have to feel good about their choices, because this is their calling, their vocation, and no one should be able to talk anyone, particularly a 12th house dominant Pisces vibe, what their calling is or how they should carry it out. No. To the gods alone, to the angels alone, to their higher selves, their higher powers alone should they address this, bringing them into balance, becoming the leader and the creator that they are meant to be, bringing their visions into physical form in a righteous way for their well-being, for the well-being, teaching that lesson to everybody around them, and really, honestly, for the well-being of all of life, bringing things into balance for us. For as we do it for one thing, it shifts all in that direction through the unity consciousness, 5th dimensional, who's-y, what's-this. So may we all be blessed by the Pisceans this July, June and July, that we may all heal, grow, and become the best that we can be, fulfilling our roles in the divine plan for the well-being of all. So mote be. So it is. Here we go. It might be the last time I do that on video, but I somehow doubt it. Really powerful read. Look, I do these readings for people all the time. And I even have a soul contract read that's similar to this, but different dynamic, 3 levels of power. So if you want to book me, right? Find me on Instagram, Mark Angelo. My deets are in the description box. You can slide into my DMs on Twitter, or you can just reach out to me on Facebook. I'm Generation X, of course. I'm on Facebook. It's law. Send me a message. I will promise I won't read your profile. I don't do that. I'm not allowed to do that. I'm under blood vows by my gods. Thank you very much, particularly my goddesses of Pisces. And by the way, check out my book, Words of Grace. I think particularly understanding the 8th chakra, which there's not a whole lot written on. I have a whole chapter on it in there. It is divided up by chakras. So this might be helpful. And my students and my clients that have got it had said to me, it's like hearing your voice in my head when I read it. So now I kind of want to do an audiobook, but we'll see. We'll see what project comes next, because honestly, I don't know if it's time for me to initiate any great big huge changes in my work, career, vocation. But to have the father archetype for me, they call me mother. Wishing you the very best and the very blessed of my beloved fishy family, my mer family. Mer. Hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.